Hello, this is Lady Boulay, and I hope you're having a wonderful day. Thank you for your support. Thank you for subscribing to the channel. Thank you for your comments, and thank you for your thumbs up. Thank you for all you do to support the channel. And yes, we are commanded to love one another, whether we want to or not, or whether we agree with each other or not. And today I'm asking, do Africans think they're entitled to reparations? Now, I don't blame them for trying to get in on it if they can. Some of them are not like that at all. Some of them are not like that because there are a lot of them. So I'm not trying to group everybody in the same way. But there are some who really believe because they are Africans and because the enslaved people from America, many of them came from Africa, they think they're entitled to it. And the Black Americans will say to them, but your family didn't come to the United States and your family was not enslaved here. But they were Africans. So we should be entitled to it too. Because they were our family. We have no way of knowing that they were their family members. These people are not our family members. But they think that they're entitled to reparations. Now, I saw this on TikTok and I just couldn't believe this guy. And I don't think you can believe him either. But I'm going to show it to you, and you can see it for yourself, and you can believe it for yourself, because this guy was dead serious.
He wants to talk to me and laugh at me when we try to get our own reparations here. I'm just trying to ask you, what's your problem? Y'all have reparations going on. What's your problem with me getting mine?
Is $2,034.
What's your problem with me getting my reparations?
Your level of ignorance and how you go about getting it.
So because I want reparations, you call it ignorant?
No, because you don't.
What makes you think you have a right to my birthright? Why are you even talking to me about it?
So why do you feel like I can't talk to you about it?
Because you really have no claim to it. So if you're not contributing to the conversation and you're not helping and you're down to me, you should really shut the fuck up.
So because I'm African, I don't have a claim to it.
What you mean you don't? It's called American Descendants of Slaves, my G.
I was born in Texas.
My G, it's called American Descendants of Slaves. Your parents are not American descendants of slaves.
Hello?
Your parents are from Africa, correct?
Yes.
That means you have no fucking, they didn't fucking pick no cotton here. They wasn't brought over here in fucking slavery. They just got over here in fucking last generation. What the fuck are you talking about? You just gonna turn this into whatever the fuck you want to? Why are you trying to disrespect my birthright?
So let me respond.
He wants to talk to me and laugh at me.
But now, did you see how quickly the Africans called the Black Americans stupid? They are so quick to call people stupid. But someone who think they're so smart, they shouldn't be running all over the world looking for somewhere to land. They ought to make their own countries better. But he's calling the black guy stupid because he's looking at it the wrong way. Because, of course, the African is looking at it the right way. And the right way is, you will see, he thinks that he is a part of the slave system. Even though they make fun of slavery, but they want to be included.
Hello?
By your definition.
It's not my definition. It's not my definition.
By your definition, then.
It's not my definition.
If Africans and their children aren't any business of what's going on here.
Say that again? I'm lost.
If Africans and their children have no business.
I didn't say that. I said I'm talking about reparations.
Yes,
that's my birthright.
Yes,
you're saying have no business here. I'm talking about reparations.
You're saying me as a descendant of an African.
You have no right to my birthrights as far as reparations.
Absolutely.
So when they bust that check open, it's going to be because of the blood that was shed on this land from my ancestors.
Absolutely.
Okay, so what's the problem with that?
And what you need to realize is that the people you're talking about, a large part of them were African.
A large part of them were Africans, but they were Africans 400, 500 years ago. They don't have anything to do with him and the Africans that are in Africa now. This is where the disconnect is. He's trying to make it like he has just as much right to the claim as somebody who came 500 years ago, even though his family did not come here on a slave ship. They came here on the plane, as they like to point out, and they came here as immigrants by choice. Our family members didn't come by choice. That's the difference right there.
Okay.
And they had children who are descendants of those Africans.
American descendants of slaves. What are you fucking dumb? Do you understand the word American slavery here?
Absolutely.
Are you fucking stupid now? Have you lost a fucking noggin? American slavery happened in fucking America, not Africa, nigga.
Yes.
Yes, nigga. Yes, nigga. So what the fuck are you talking about?
Yes. So what I'm trying to tell you is, by your definition, saying that Africans and African Americans shouldn't have any part of one another's business.
I'm not saying that. I'm saying.
Let him talk, bro.
You keep making that shit. What are you talking about?
You see how he's muddying the water? In my opinion, Africans and Black Americans don't have anything to do with each other's business. If it was their business, they wouldn't include us in it. And this is the scam. He's trying to outsmart the Black person by saying, well, I'm African. I should be a part of it too. Those people came from Africa, so I should be a part of whatever it was that they were entitled to, when he has nothing to do with the transatlantic slave trade. Nothing.
Bro, come on,
You would be cutting out hundreds of years of the reparations you're seeking.
I still don't understand what you're saying.
They weren't American.
I'm talking. Okay, that's why it's called ADOS.
Now, this is the argument that the Americans should have made when those people left the shores of Africa. They were property. The slave masters told them to forget about Africa. They couldn't even mention their tribe. They couldn't even speak their language. Matter of fact, they couldn't even talk to another person who was from their tribe. So they mixed them up, the different tribes and the different languages. And that is why today we speak English. We don't speak an African language. So when they left the shores of Africa, they were not Africans, really. They were chattel. They were property that had been sold to those Europeans by those Africans. So this whole idea about they were Africans, that's out, because their relationship with Africa were severed when those slave ships left the west coast of Africa. And there is no point in arguing with them about that. But let's let them continue.
Yeah. We want to hold the people in America responsible. Yeah.
Let him
How can you
respond.
hold them responsible for people who you're saying you have nothing to do with?
Because my ancestors.
Do you understand
were here.
that?
Yes, I understand my name. That's called Simpson. I know that's directly. I know my lineage.
Oh, whoa.
Yeah,
Simpson-
I know my
Simpson's
lineage.
not a black
That's a
man.
slap. Exactly.
And
You want to tell your last name?
this is-
You want to tell your last name?
This is what I'm trying to say about Bread.
You're still losing me, bro. It's called African
Is that-
descendants of slavery,
He
bro. It
claims-
didn't happen in Africa. It happened here. That's what we're fighting for reparations for.
I heard you
You
the
can't
first
move it
time.
over there. You want to move it over here? Move it over there. It's gonna happen here, nigga. Why y'all tight? What you mad for?
I don't give a fuck about ancestors.
He tight.
Let me take that back. I do care about ancestors. Pardon me. I don't give a fuck about what I'm saying.
In the end, Breadman is choosing to define his blackness.
So you see what happened there? When they started talking lineage, he switched the conversation. Now it's about the white man. It was always about the white man. The whole slave trade was about the white man coming to Africa looking for people to help build an empire, and they did that. So why is he over here? Because there's an empire here where he can make a better life for himself. So what are we talking about? He's over here in the white man's country, since he's talking about the white man. This country is majority white. This isn't a majority Black country. He skipped over all of those majority Black countries to come here. So now he wants to bring the white man in. Okay, let's hear what he has to say.
By a white person's terms.
This nigga talking dumb.
White people,
You sound dumb.
because
Let him explain.
they're paying money, they have to differentiate who specifically they're paying money to.
Black people created ADOS.
So they had to discern, you can get money, but you can't, because we can only link it to people who are directly affected by this, right? So he's choosing to define his blackness by white people.
Did you say geography?
Yo, come on.
Oh, come on,
I don't
my
give a
nigga.
fuck.
All right.
Stop.
Let me be quiet. Let me fall back.
Yeah, fall back. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, like, this is so, and this is why I say, like, anyone who's on the ADOS shit, it's just about, like you said, it's about the check. If there weren't a check attached to it, just like this shit wasn't popular like 3 or 4 years ago, this ADOS shit, because these people are trying to, like,
These people.
Yes, it is about the check. That's why he's so passionate. It's about the money. But it's about the money that the enslaved people earned that they didn't get. And so their descendants are trying to get the money. Not for Africans who weren't enslaved, who could make their own living. If they had been smart enough, if they were as smart as they think they are, they would have made their own way. And they wouldn't be over here begging for our reparations, because that's what it comes down to.
Yes, ignorant motherfuckers who don't really read much, who bring up receipts that have nothing to do with nothing. Like, you're choosing to define your blackness by a white person's terms.
Can I talk now, Flip?
So, no, you can't talk about it. So, let me ask you a question. Does his ancestors, because, you know, a lot of people like Simpson or Robinson, or we get our last names from white people. Slave masters. And so where do you think he thinks, and I'm going to ask him next, but do you feel that Breadman feel that his ancestors did not come from Africa?
He would have to if he's going to get reparations. That's what I mean. Like, if he wants reparations.
Mm-hmm.
Well, this guy is talking out of the side of his behind because he doesn't, first of all, he doesn't know what he's talking about. He doesn't know what he's talking about. There are ledgers, there are names, and none of them are African. The white people renamed the enslaved people. They renamed and reclassified the enslaved people, and they reclassified the black people who were already here. And they were enslaved too. So this guy doesn't know what he's talking about. He's just trying to find a way to wedge himself into black people's history and black people's reparations claim. And it's not going to work because he's not making any sense. I thought that it was interesting that this is how some of them feel. And he's not the only one that feels that way. But his argument is going to fall flat because it's not a good argument. Okay, y'all, let me know what you think about the video and have a good evening.